Thank you very much, Mr. President. To my distinguished guest to my left, and to my colleague Mark Pacheco, and His Excellency Governor Deval Patrick, welcome to my abode, the town of Bridgewater. I stand here today as an extremely proud alumnus of this institution. Some may think that I graduated back in the late 1800s because I know so much about the place, but it really was 1958, and I get elected to one office or another, I think when I was a sophomore here, back in 1956 or 1957. This institution was started because of a series of debates that took place in the 1830s in the neighboring towns. Debates between three distinguished Americans, John Quincy Adams, Daniel Webster, and Horace Mann. And in 1837, I wasn't there. They were in the upper town hall in Middleborough, 5 miles down the road, and they were still debating where to have the state college built. And a man named Artemus Hale, a railroad magnate. In fact, the street where my district office is right up the street here, Hale Street, was named after him. He said, if you will have the institution in Bridgewater, I will donate $675 to build a railroad station. They accepted the $675 and they established the state of this great institution here in the town of Bridgewater. No one should leave here without having a little history lesson. It was a great vision by my close friend, Dana Molaferia. One is so needed, especially because the global meltdown of the economy. It's a long-term vision of what this institution with a math science building can do for not only southeastern Massachusetts, but the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We all know with science comes knowledge. We all know with knowledge comes power. We also know that brings on great curiosity. We haven't given a great amount of thought of what this is going to do, how much it's going to help our elementary school, middle schools, the high schools. We're one of the most wide institutions in the United States of America. A lot of people don't know that. We surpass in being wide at Harvard, schools like Harvard, schools like Yale. This helps complete our mission at Bridgewater State College. How many of you know that this $98.7 million, and it was $67 at the end of that too, is the largest single outlay of money for any building in the history, this is for college, in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Now, I know if I were a Horace Mann, I were John Quincy Adams, or a Daniel Webster, and I could walk through this campus today, I would say, Mr. President, job well done. You know, there are a lot of people, it takes a complete team to do something like this. And I would just like to acknowledge a man on this campus who's come to my office many times, concerned, worried, and looking to me to provide answers. And he's done so much for this project. Mike Gomes, please stand up. And to the governor, I wish he would carry a message to a very close friend of mine in his administration. For 3 of the past 4 years, I had the great privilege to serve as the Legislative House Chairman of the Committee on Bonding, Capital Expenditures, and State Assets. And I worked sometimes on a daily basis with a man who was first, I think, Assistant Secretary to you, then Undersecretary, now Secretary of Administration and Finance. Jobs and positions I previously had under Governor Michael Dukakis and Governor Ed King. That's Jay Gonzalez. There is no more knowledgeable person in your administration, nor more knowledgeable person in bonding and in capital planning and under the 9 governors I've been than Jay Gonzalez. Please tell him I had him acknowledged today. It's a wonderful appointment. You know, when Dana was talking about a little trick of the trade and talked about the $10 million in the time frame, he was partially correct. He did not call me, to the best of my knowledge, at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. He called me at his hour, which was more like 6:20 a.m. in the morning. And I don't think it was $10 million. I think it was 20. But we did get the job done. I talk about the tricks of the trade. I did say don't worry about a thing, but those that know me, I've been saying that all my life, and then I go home and worry. What really happened is I went into Bob DeLeo, chairman of Ways and Means, and I said, there's a little problem here caused by Dave Perini. Sorry, Dave. He said, what's that, Dean? I said, tough spot for me. I gave him my word. He said, again? He said, Dukakis told me you did that all the time. What had happened was we did have a shortfall of about $20 million. And once you get a bonding bill through, it's not like a general appropriation. It's something you can afford. It's something that doesn't go really against you. And we have a great bond rate in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. A great one. Allows us to do this. But you don't offer amendments from the floor with success. But I got the Speaker, the Chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Bob DeLeo, to offer the amendment for the $20 million, the Speaker to agree, and when that signal was given, no one dared utter the word because they thought there might be a little slashing on some of their accounts. So when the President was telling the story, my friend, the governor, leaned over to me and he said, Dean, how come it takes you so long to vote for my proposals? I would like to say, though, concerning Governor Deval Patrick, none of this could have happened unless he gave the signal to fast-track this project through planning, through design, preliminary funding and planning, final design, final funding. He fast-tracked the project. And for that, we will be indebted to you for a long, long time, Governor, because out of a $2.19 billion capital outlay, educational capital outlay bonding project, I think this is only the second one that's will be breaking ground. And that is so important to us, to the area, to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I know you've recognized that an educational bond bill, infrastructure, and education go hand in hand. This will create hundreds of jobs in this area for at least 2 years. It means so much to us. And it allows me to say today to you how proud I am, Governor, not only of this institution, but of our motto, not to be ministered onto, but to minister. Thank you, everybody, for having me.